This video will be dedicated to the practice redemption task for outcome 2 within the financial arithmetic topic for Year 11 General Maths 2020. Start off with question 1 here. Georgia wishes to buy an office desk with a computer included. The set was initially advertised as $850 but is now on sale for $730. What percentage discount does this amount to? Give your answers to 2 decimal places. The first thing we need to do is find the difference between the two amounts because we need to get the discount amount. This ends up being $120. So the difference between the two is $120. We then will use this amount to get the percentage discount. So obviously the percentage discount will be given as a percentage, and it is the percentage amount divided by the initial amount, 850, and times this by 100. When you plug this into the calculator to 2 decimal places, you'll end up getting 14.12%. Georgia decides to enter a hire purchase agreement to buy the set. No deposit is required and pays 24 monthly repayments of $40. We need to first find out how much interest Georgia will pay in total. We first need to check out how much she'll be paying all up within this agreement. She's paying 24 monthly repayments of $40. So what we need to find out is 40 times 24. Because if she's doing this over 24 months, she's paying $40 each month. All up, if she's doing this 24 times, she'll end up with $960 that she's paying. But the initial cost of the sale price of the item, we're using the sale price, is $730. So the amount of interest that's being paid is how much she's actually paying, which is $960, take away what the sale price is. Now you got to remember that no deposit was required for this, so we don't have to take any of these amounts into consideration. The difference between this is $230. So this amount here is all interest. It's extra money that she's providing to this company. With this amount, we're going to see what the flat annual rate of interest is. And again, we're going to give our answer to 2 decimal places. So we need to recall our flat rate formula, which is 100 times I for interest over the principal times time frame given in years. Our interest amount we just worked out is 230. Our principal is how much is owing back, the initial owing back to the company. And because no deposit was required, it's just $730. And we're just going to times this by the time frame. And remember, we've got to give this time frame within years. It doesn't specifically say how many years there are, but we know this is 24 monthly repayments. So if there are 24 months within a year, and we divide this by how many months, 24 months within 2 years, sorry, and we divide this by how many months there are within a year, this ends up being 2 years. So we're just using 2 for the year amount. When you calculate this, your flat rate ends up being 15.75% Now, the next question is going to be looking at the effective rate, but I know as a ballpark it's roughly double of the flat rate. So I'm expecting an answer that should be close to 30%. So the next question, what is the effective annual rate of interest? Again, giving the answer to 2 decimal places. So the R of E, all that's equal to is the R of F, which is a flat rate, which we just found out, times 2 times n over n plus 1. Now remember, n is just the amount of transactions or the amount of payments that has been made by Georgia. If she's making 24 monthly repayments, the amount of times she's paying for it is 24. So our n value is 24. So when we plug these numbers that we've already provided to us, R of F, the flat rate, is 15.25. Multiply this by 2 times 24 over 24 plus 1. All I'm doing is just simply plugging this into the formula, and I'm hoping to get something that's close to 30%, which I do, 29.28%. So effectively, Georgia's really paying 29.28% in interest. Question 2. Clara decides to put money into an account that pays 1.4% per annum simple interest. She has $995 to put in and only plans to touch the account after 6 years. How much interest will Clara gain at the end of these 6 years? First, we need to know what type of interest this is. It is simple interest. So let's recall our simple interest formula. I is equal to P times R times T, so principal, rate, and time respectively, all over 100. Our principal, which is the initial amount she's going to invest, is $995. The rate is 1.4, and the time frame is within the end of the 6 years, so it's 6, all over 100. Now we're just looking for the interest, so in this case we just plug this into the calculator and we end up getting to 2 decimal places, $83.58. What would the final amount in the account be at the end of the 6 years? Well, if we know how much interest there will be at the end of the 6 years, and we know how much she started with at the start, to get the amount, we need to take up principal and just add the interest amount. So in this case, our principal, how much she started with for an investment, is $995, and how much interest was earned or given to her by the bank is $83.58. So all up, the amount that she has within her account is $1,078.58 when you calculate the addition of these two numbers here. Delilah, which is, I'm pretty sure this is the last question. Yes, it is. Delilah decides to put money into an account that pays 8.45% per annum compound interest. She has $80,100 to put in and only plans to touch the account after 11 years. So it's very similar to the previous question. The only difference is it's compound interest, not simple. And obviously there's different contexts with the percent initial amount and the time frame. With this formula here, what would the final amount in the account be at the end of the 11 years? So we're finding the final amount, which is being conveniently given with this formula here. A is equal to P, open bracket, 1 plus R over 100, close bracket, to the power of T. Our principal, or how much she is investing, is 80100. The rate that the bank is offering is 8.45%. And the time frame is we're seeing after 11 years. When you calculate this, you'll end up getting $195,504.90, which is a big jump. But you've got to consider the initial amount that Delilah is putting in is quite a high amount in the first place. And because it's compound interest, it's gonna the interest is gonna keep increasing as the years go by because more money is being added to it. And 11 years is quite a while. So this here, if you get a bit turned off by this amount, don't worry. Just look at the context of the question. Lastly, how much interest will Delilah gain at the end of the 11 years? To get our interest amount, we have to get the amount that she ended up with at the end of the 11 years and take away her starting amount, which is her principal. Or in this case, we're finding the difference between $195,504.90. Find the difference between this amount and how much she initially started with, $80,100. This equates to $115,404.90. This all here will be dedicated to interest, which is quite a lot of interest in my honest opinion. And that concludes this video.